Welcome to Let's Chat with Julie Lewin and the Spirit Talk series, where we delve into the realms of intuition, energy, and spiritual awakening, uncovering the wisdom that resides within each of us and the universe at large. I'm your host, Julie Lewin. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat with Julie. And today I have a very dear friend who I have known for many, many years, and she is an extraordinary healer as well. And so let me introduce you to Diana Scanlon, and I have a little bit here. So Diana is a certified 21st century energy practitioner, and she's renowned for her healing prowess. She works remotely and in person, and with intuitive insight, she targets bodily health challenges for intense relief and alignment, specializing in stress management and wellness coaching. She likes to focus on women's health and natural remedies for menopause, so needed today. And she draws from her deep connection with nature. And she did a diploma in horticulture because of her passion for nature. So let's chat, Diana. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
Thank you, Julie, for inviting me as a guest.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, we go back a long way. I think it's about 8 years or 10 years or something.
And it's that, yes.
It's a long way. And your work has developed. You help many people with their health. What I wanted to talk about today is the inner journey, the inner work. And I know that you help your clients, and I know that you've had quite the journey yourself. So why don't we start the podcast off with a little bit about your journey and what you've had to navigate and what inner work you've needed to do to be able to keep doing the beautiful healing work that you do with others.
It's a long, long story, and we haven't got all day, but I'll make it as short as I can.
Yeah.
I have suffered many traumas throughout my life, from a difficult childhood, a difficult first marriage, which I ran away from, and I brought up my children for 10 years on my own. Great difficulty, but it was all a learning process for me. I found that I could survive where others might not have. My daughter says to me, I couldn't have done that. I don't know how you did it. You brought us up.
So how did you have the courage to run away and raise your children on your own? Like, what inner fortitude did you have to do that?
I knew I had to leave, and my first husband would have killed me.
Right.
So that was the reason. I knew I had to leave, and I had the inner fortitude to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Means whereby I could do it.
Yeah.
And hence the journey thereafter. I did a lot of inner work with keeping myself positive.
How did you do that? Because I know people ask, how do you keep positive in that sort of situation? Because it sounds like trauma from your childhood came into your first marriage. So you had trauma in your first marriage. How do you keep positive? Like, what did you do to keep positive?
I focused on my children because I knew that I had to be strong for my children, no matter what happened.
Yeah.
To make sure they had the best childhood that I could give them.
Yeah.
So that was my motivating factor, right the way through until they became adults.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I still like to support them in any way that I can.
Yeah.
But it helped me through many, many difficult times. That fortitude of, I've got to do this because I've got to be strong for my kids.
Yeah. And so what did you actually do? Did you lie in bed at night and you thought positive thoughts, or was it more action-based? What did you Okay, so your kids were your driving force, but what inner work did you do? Like, what did you specifically do to navigate each day that must have been very difficult for you?
And it was. I didn't lie in bed and think about it because I fell into bed and fell asleep straight away. I was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
exhausted. But waking up in the morning, I thought, okay, I've got another day to face. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this to the very best of my ability. And I'm going to do better than my best. And I always had that hope for the future. Things are going to improve.
yeah,
I'm going to make sure that things are going to improve. The universe is looking after me.
yeah. So you had faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to become ill.
Hmm.
I did
So
have,
what did you do to not become ill? What things did you do?
well, I did become ill. I had flu and I did used to catch. My immune system was low because I was stressed, but I didn't have anything which was major.
Mm,
Apart from the pain that I suffered every day from the car accident I was involved in.
yeah.
So I worked through the pain
Hmm.
and just go on with my day.
Yeah.
I have to do this, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm stubborn. I'm persistent. Um, those are some of my good qualities, not some of the bad ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Persistence is really needed, isn't it? For the inner work, for the self-care when you have a dream or a goal, or you've asked the universe to make your life better.
Hmm.
It doesn't happen because you just sit there and dream about it or ponder it. You actually have to be persistent in your actions, not just for a day, not just for a month, not even just for 1 year. It's persistence running right through the days, weeks, months, years of taking care of you and making sure that you refill your energy, that you are doing the best that you can for yourself so that you can take care of your family.
Yes. But one thing I used to do, and I still do,
Mm,
when I become very stressed, is deep breathing.
okay.
I found that is a huge help. I breathe in calm and serenity, and this is
Yeah.
what I tell my clients too.
Yeah.
Breathe, because so many people are stressed and anxious at the moment
I know.
because of everything that's happening in the world and their own health. Breathe
Mm,
calm, deep breath, breathe in calm, breathe out all your stress, all your anxiety.
mm.
Look, watch it float away in a beautiful blue balloon. It's a visual thing.
Yeah.
Watch it float away. And then another one, breathe in, peace, breathe out. And then the last breath out, you relax right down. And you can feel yourself relaxing.
So when you do a deep breath, because I've had other people ask me this as well, do you breathe all the way down into your belly?
Yes,
Or, yeah,
that's what you should do.
yeah.
Because you're totally filling your lungs that way.
Yeah. And, for many years, I thought that I was filling my lungs if I came to the top of my diaphragm.
Mm.
And I didn't know how to relax my diaphragm. And when somebody explained to me, like, how a little baby's belly is all the way out, that's a relaxed diaphragm. And it
Mm.
was almost a relief to be aware that, oh, I can let all of those muscles relax and breathe all the way down. It's a completely different feeling, isn't it?
Certainly is, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that is the way that it really works. It's well worth trying
Mm.
for people that haven't tried it yet. while I
Yeah.
was trying.
Yeah. So you breathe in calm and let all the stress out, and a balloon floats it away. You breathe in peace and you let more stress out. And then what was that third one?
Serenity.
Oh, serenity. And then you just completely relax.
Yes, yes.
How often do you do that?
Whenever I'm stressed, which is sometimes once a day, sometimes several times a day, it works every time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
So people could be sitting at their desk and they could just do that and no one knows what they're doing.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So you're listening to this right now, this is something that you can do anywhere, anytime to actually release the stress. And basically what that's doing is returning you to the relaxation response. And I know you're a stress management person. I also am a stress management consultant. And the body heals when we're in relaxation response. The body can't heal when we're in fight flight. So we need to sometimes consciously relax back into homeostasis. And that's a really beautiful way of doing that, Diana.
It is. And also, you can't focus your mind when you're stressed. When
That's
you're trying
true.
to focus on maybe helping somebody or
Mm.
you're focused on sending an important email, you can't focus on putting the words together when you're totally stressed. So do the breathing technique and all this fog will clear away.
Yes,
I'm a big believer in visualization,
me too.
very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so why don't we move forward to the trauma of the car accident, because that was huge. How did you kind of pick yourself back up and get back into life? What were the things that you needed to do for you?
Oh, just going through the whole scenario of it. And I can't specify anything specific that I did. I just focused on getting better every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a major uphill battle. It was though if you visualize walking up a hill, pushing a wheelbarrow full of rocks. It was
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
It was an uphill battle getting my strength back.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I came out of hospital after 3 months, I couldn't walk. All the muscle
Wow.
had gone from my legs.
Right.
I couldn't walk. I had to learn to walk again.
Okay.
Make sure that my muscles were strong
How
enough.
did you
To
do
do
that? Did you just like take a few steps and then have to sit down? What was the process of learning to walk again?
it. Yes, I just had to take a few steps. When I left the hospital, the nurses had to support me, put me in a wheelchair, put me in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was like a few steps at a time,
Wow.
and gradually got my muscles working again.
And did you do visualization on your body while you were recovering?
Yeah, I visualize myself being strong,
Yeah.
uh, visualize myself being well, free of pain, and it really does work,
Yes.
especially with pain.
Yeah.
Another thing which is really good for pain or for many things is grounding. And this is another thing that I frequently do and frequently encourage my clients to do.
Yeah.
Connect with Mother Earth
Yes.
and feel
Barefoot.
her energy. Feel her
Mhm.
energy. That helps with sleep. It helps with depression. It
Yeah.
helps with multiple things.
Yeah.
You walk barefoot, say for half an hour.
Yes.
Lie on the earth, lie on the grass,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
or concrete, not on asphalt, but you can on concrete. Uh,
Right.
and that comes through all
Yeah.
the energy from Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Uh, Hugely beneficial.
Yeah. I watched the earthing documentary called Earthing Movie. If you guys haven't watched that movie, it's on YouTube. It's absolutely fascinating. And what really struck me was that they took a scan of somebody with inflammation in their body. They went out and walked barefoot on the earth, was it for half an hour?
Yes.
And then they came back and did the scan again. And earthing, walking barefoot on the earth, brings the inflammation out of your body.
Yes.
And that's why we feel better.
Yes, that's the other thing, inflammation, which
Yeah.
a lot of us suffer from. Certainly when there's pain, there's inflammation.
That's right.
Yeah.
So pain is basically a signal of inflammation.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so you did earthing and visualizing and your persistence to doing what you could throughout the day, you progressively got better and better.
Yes.
And so how many years ago was that you had that accident?
That was when I was in my 20s.
No.
Many years ago, yes.
Wow. And so do you still experience pain now from that accident?
Yes, but not as much.
That's, yeah.
It really has healing on myself.
Yeah.
Has helped. Healing on just being positive about it.
Yeah.
Saying pain be gone, pain be gone. And again, affirmations are wonderful. I'm a big.
So what sort of affirmations do you use? Because I'd really like to explore this with you, Diana, because I probably am not the best advocate for affirmations, and I think it was because I would rote say them. I would just say the affirmation, but there was no emotion, there was no feeling, there was no energy connected to the affirmation. So I'd like to know how you do affirmations.
Well, I think it's very individual. Everybody can make up their own affirmation. A very one is which is so well known is I am feeling better and better every day.
Yeah.
But if you put feeling into it, that's what makes it strong.
Yeah.
Into it. You can put anything you like, what you really want to improve in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I am whatever, whatever, whatever every day.
Right.
Substitute whatever you want.
Yes.
And I
so
think
basically it's framed by I am and then the everyday.
yes.
Right.
Yes. So it's a very individual thing.
Yes.
People can make up their own affirmations that in combination with the visualization, very powerful healing tools.
So do you do visualizing with your affirmation?
Yes.
And do you actually visualize it specifically or abstractly? Like, how do you visualize when you're doing your affirmation?
For example, if I'm visualizing or affirming something for myself,
Yeah.
I will put a picture of myself in front of me.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, not a real picture. I mean, a visual picture in my third eye in front of me. And this is how I want myself to be. And I just say whatever it is I want myself to be. And visualize myself being like that. And
then what
affirming it along the way. And saying, I visualize myself, or I am, I don't say visualize, I am stronger.
Yeah.
Or I am straighter.
Yeah.
Because my spine is still not right after the accident. I am straighter, or I am able to walk more easily, or whatever it is you want.
Yeah. And do you do affirmations every day?
It depends on what I need. Not every day. But at least 3 or 4 times a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's one of your key self-care insourcing your healing.
It is. Another thing I love to do is when I'm in nature, obviously deep breathing, but I go out and hug a tree.
Yes.
This is a very a very powerful thing to do. You're not only getting energy from the earth, but from the tree. And quite often I find that a tree will call me. You know, it'll attract me, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, oh, this is the tree that's calling me. And
Yeah.
I can feel its energy.
Yeah. That's so interesting. And then you hug it.
Yeah.
So the way that I use the tree energy is I breathe, a tree calls to me, speaks to me, seems to have a brighter light around it. And I ask if I can share its energy.
Yes.
And then I breathe it in with gratitude and I send it back with love. And I set up this loop.
Yes.
And oh my goodness, that got me through my chronic fatigue because I'd be so tired. And so I realized just now as I'm speaking, that's doing deep breathing because I'm breathing it in.
Yes.
And sending it back. So that's deep breathing. So that's one thing that you
Yes.
do. I'm bringing in gratitude and the energy, and I'm sending back with love. So we're activating love and gratitude and the deep breathing. And I would do that for 3 to 5 minutes, and I would feel completely transformed.
Yes.
There's something else that I do with trees, and I don't know if you've done this, but every species of tree has a different energy.
Yes, it does.
And so I'll go and put my hands on like a pine tree, and then I'll go to another pine tree, and you can see that they've got similar frequency. And then I might go to a gum tree, completely different energy.
Yes.
And
but I always ask permission before I hug it. Please, may I share your energy?
oh, beautiful. Yeah.
And then I thank afterwards. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. There's a place here near where I live called Browns Falls, but I call it the Forest of Light. And I love going in there. It feels very ancient. It feels very filled with Aboriginal ancestors. And there's a big tree just as we go in. I always put my hand on it and I say, please, may we journey into the forest of light and have your blessing. Then when I come back, I put my hand on and say, thank you for having me and thank you for the journey. And it just makes such a difference, doesn't it, when we kind of communicate with nature as we're
Absolutely.
in there. Yeah.
The Japanese do what they call forest bathing.
They
when
do.
you're stressed and anxious, you go and walk in a forest and you come out feeling totally different.
Absolutely.
And that's similar to what you're doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I take photos of the light in the forest and it brings me so much awe and wonder. And when we're in that space, why I like it is I can take a photo of light on my phone, but we can't see that with our naked eye, but it's still there, right? And so when we see a visual of what's there that can't be seen, it's awe-inspiring. And the awe and wonder for me is part of the inner work and the healing. If we can flood ourselves with the feeling or the frequency of awe and wonder regularly, hopefully daily, our body loves that. Our body loves that frequency.
Yes. The body is a self-healing mechanism, but
I know, right?
it needs a bit of help.
Yes, exactly. I'm right there with you. 100%. Yes.
It does. Yeah. It's another thing which I find, and I recommend to a lot of my clients, that I see that they have a lot of really bad toxic emotions.
Yeah.
And I recommend that they, in the shower every morning, that they visualize all these emotions going down the drain with the water.
100%. Yeah.
And they won't pollute the ocean, they'll be transformed.
Yeah.
But you need to get these toxic emotions out of you because you can't be well when you've got this like non-forgiveness, not only of others, but yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Give yourself. If
Yes.
you've got anger, frustration, resentment. I see all sorts of emotions in people.
Yeah.
I say, I can help by giving them a push out of your liver. They're in your liver that it's for. I said, but you need to do this to help yourself on your healing journey.
That's exactly right, Diana. And this is what I say to my clients as well. I'm a facilitator of health healing. I don't do the healing, but I teach my clients how to do the healing on themselves. But if you don't do the work with the persistence and the what do you call it, the rituals or the processes every day, then your body suffers because the stress builds up and builds up and builds up. And you don't even know how much stress your body is carrying because you're not doing that work daily. It's like you clean your teeth well, I hope people clean their teeth every day. You clean your teeth every day. You have a shower every day. You wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, hopefully. All of these things are habits that we do for our physical body. But I know from personal experience, we have to do the inner work like we do the outer, like we do the physical cleansing. We have to do the inner cleansing as well. And daily, not once a week, once a month, once a year. Exactly. It's not a do it once and it's done. It's a routine, isn't it?
It is. Another thing which I really find that is really necessary every day when you wake up, think of at least 5 things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Gratitude is huge.
It is.
It doesn't have to be 5, but even if you say, oh, I've got nothing in my life, my life is awful. You've got food.
Yeah.
You've got shelter.
Yeah.
Hopefully clean water. That's 3 things straight away.
Yeah.
Gratitude, send gratitude to the universe. Thank you for all these things that I've been blessed with.
Yeah.
Eyesight, your hearing, all these things which, we take for granted.
Being able to walk.
Yes.
Being able to talk. I couldn't talk for a year. I am incredibly grateful for my voice.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah. And I could only, that was it.
Yeah.
And, I was so embarrassed when I started doing the speech therapy because the doctor said, look, just wait a year and see what happens. We don't want to do anything till we see how it all feels, because I had throat surgery. And then they put a camera down and they said, oh, well, you can't speak because your left vocal cord's only working 5%. You may never speak again. Well, I went home and I went, God, if you give me back my voice, I promise I will share what I've learned. And the specialist said, look, speech pathology may help. I can't promise. And so I went to that speech pathologist and she said, if you do the work, if you do what I ask you to do, I believe that you can speak again. And so I believed her, but I had to do the work. And do you know what I did, Diana? I chanted every day because I had to do like I couldn't say I couldn't do any of that. So what I found with chanting was that I could sustain the breath. And the only way that I am speaking now is I use the air in my lungs to make my vocal cord move with the muscles in my chest.
Oh.
So I had to learn how to do that. And I liken it to a didgeridoo player uses the air in his lungs in a particular way, and he makes that incredible sound come out of the didgeridoo.
Mm.
I use the air in my lungs to make the voice come out of my mouth. And my voice is way stronger now than it was 20 years ago.
Mm.
And so that's been part of my journey, is learning how to talk again.
Amazing. Yeah. You learn how to talk again. I learn how to walk again.
You learned how to walk again. I learned how to talk again. So, it's a journey and we're both very persistent, and we're both stubborn. And stubbornness sometimes is a very positive trait, especially when it's about our own health and wellness, and having the self-discipline to do what we need to do.
Mm.
And, I do my own rituals every single day to be well.
Yes.
If I don't do them, I am on a downward slide to being unwell. And one of those things is to drop my stress levels, because I know my body grows tumors if I get stressed.
Yeah.
And
that's important. Yes.
It's important to know your body. And I think a lot of people, I don't want to be general, and I don't want to make bold claims and say everybody, but many people are ignorant of the impact their mind and emotions has on their physical body.
Exactly.
And that's why we talk about the mind-body-spirit connection.
Yes.
We're not just a physical body, we're a mind, body, spirit, and they're all interrelated. It's a holistic package that we bring to the world. And so it's an exciting place to journey and explore the inner world that creates our outer world. Would you say that what we do in the inner world is reflected in our outer world?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that I know when my clients are not helping themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if you're doing the work, it's reflected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll ask them and they say, oh, well, sometimes, or I forget. I say, look, this is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And impress upon them, you must help yourself.
Yeah.
And help your body to heal as well.
So I did some podcast episodes with Dr. Vishal Rao last year that were life-changing for me.
Mm.
And he spoke about the statistical outliers, the people who are diagnosed with these awful conditions and they survive and thrive.
Mm.
He said you're statistical outliers because you do things differently.
Mm.
And he said he spoke to one of his clients who was thriving. He said, what did you do? He said, well, I'll tell you this, I'm paraphrasing. He said, Doc, you do your part, I'll do mine. You go cut out what has to get cut out. I'll do the rest. You leave the rest to me.
Mm.
And that's the inner work.
Yes.
And then Vishal said to me, this is an observation that I've made, that people with low expectations and high acceptance are the healthiest.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And I really, really like that, because I think it's even more the having the flexibility with your acceptance and being able to kind of be more fluid in the journey. I think that makes such a difference.
Yes, and these people have more gratitude at the end of it because of their low expectation. And of course, they get more than they expect and think,
and so they're grateful. So they're a grateful couple, aren't they? Yeah. So they're always grateful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Great point. I love that. Like, my mum had a tumour on her back. She had 4 young children from 4 to 13. And I remember watching her as a kid, and she had to hold the wall to walk. And so we grew up out west, Mount Isa, and they sent her down to Brisbane, the capital city, and they didn't know what they wrote on her chart, that it was all in her head. I know. And this young registrar was with the top doctor, who was I can't remember the name, physician, or like the very high up, and he was taking this young registrar around and looking at all the patients. And the young registrar said to the physician, "I know what's wrong with this woman." And the physician went, "Pray do tell," like as if, "I don't think so." He said, "Well, she's got a cafe au lait birthmark here. She's got a cafe au lait mark there. She's got a tumour on her spine there." He said, "How do you even know that?" He said, "Just something I learned." He didn't divulge. Apparently, cafe au lait marks are a sign of tumours.
Really?
I know. And so you know what? The professor or physician said, "We can check." So they put mercury in her spine and they found the tumour. So it was right on her spine where he said, and they removed it, but the roots of it went into her spinal cord, and so they had to remove it. And they said to her, actually, this is where I'm feeling that I get my persistence and determination. The surgeon said, "You may never walk again." She said, "Yes, I will. I have 4 children at home. I will walk again." And she did. And she had a scar this long on her spine where they had to do their thing. But she had that determination to walk again and raise her family. And, she had consequences from that. But, she rarely complained, but I think she was always in pain. But she was just grateful.
Yes.
That she could walk. You can walk. I can talk.
Yes. Amazing lady.
When you've lost one of your senses or skills, like to function, you're grateful for everything.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I think that it's quite incredible what losing something and getting it back has on you.
Yes.
And we've both lost things and recovered.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
That's definitely where you get it from. Your mother, amazing
my
lady.
mum, yeah.
Wow. 4 children. Wow.
And we were little.
Yes.
It was 4, 9, 11 and 13.
Yeah.
And
You all needed looking after, and she was brave enough to be able to do it and persistent enough.
it was that persistence.
Yes.
And we looked after her when she passed, and she went to hospital to palliative care, and she was in a ward with 5 other women. It was just awful, but she couldn't walk. And I visited her every day for a week, and I said, "Mum, it's just really awful here. Can we take you home?" She said, "Well, I've spoken to the counsellor and they said that they've activated her health directive." And she said, "I get up every day and I walk a few steps." And do you know what she did? In a few days, because she wanted to go home, in a few days, maybe 4 days, She said, if I can walk to the toilet by myself, they will let me go home. And she did it. She did it. They let her go home. That was on the Wednesday, and she passed on the Saturday.
Wow. Wasn't that
And
amazing?
so she was at home with her family and not in that horrible hospital ward. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where I get it from.
Yes. Yes. I had a similar thing recently, or 5-6 years ago. I had to go into a rehab because I had further injury on my spine. And it took a while. I was in there nearly a month.
Wow.
It was a lovely, lovely place.
Yes.
I enjoyed being there. The people were beautiful. They were very kind. And in the end, they said, okay. And they had in the gymnasium where I went every day, if you can walk up and down these, there was 4 steps up and down, because where we lived at the time, we had 14 stairs up to the living area and the bedrooms. If you can walk up and down these 4 times, we'll let you go home.
Wow.
I was determined.
Yeah, and you did. And you did. Yeah.
So I went home. I had to walk very slowly up the stairs, but I got there.
You did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. We're strong women, aren't we?
Yes, and I think we've had to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Time. Yes.
I
We've
agree.
all come here at this specific time to help the world, move through, and to help Mother Nature and Mother Earth recover from what mankind has done.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot.
And you know what? I think that everyone has the ability to heal.
Yes.
And I think that what you and I do is we teach them how to do that.
Yeah.
And then they have to find that resilience. They have to find that will to live.
Yes.
That will to thrive. And it's a frequency.
Yes.
And nobody can give that frequency to you. It's something that you find inside. And I was saying to somebody the other day, I was so unwell in my 20s and 30s that I used to lie in bed and say, please, can I just die so I don't have to live like this, right?
Yeah.
And then I got diagnosed with cancer when I was 40, and I went, oh, God, I've changed my mind. I don't want to die anymore. What do I have to do to get well? And it was in that moment that I found that alchemy.
Yes.
That grit. And that moment's changed me forever.
Yes.
And what I've recognized is that we can't give that moment to anyone.
No.
They have to locate it themselves.
Yes.
And I think if that's the message that we leave our listeners with, that moment is precious, and to seek it or recognize that we need that grit in our belly to want to thrive.
Yes.
Through all obstacles.
Yes. And I see clients, that are so ill. I sort of say, are you ready to go now? And they say, yeah, ready to go.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
They know.
And, same
with animals. I work with animals.
That's right. Yes, I wanted you to talk about that.
Yeah, and the animals, they will tell me.
Yes.
If they're really sick. No, I don't want it. No, don't help me. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
They tell me that. And I think,
yeah.
Look, I'm sorry, but your dog really does want to go.
Yeah. They're tired.
And that's hard,
It is.
Your pets become part of your family.
They're an integral part, yeah.
Yeah, but I love working with animals.
So
they are so receptive, and they so quite often the vets have got no idea. They don't know what's wrong with them.
And do you work with animals all over the world, or do they have to come to see you?
All over the world.
Fantastic,
I
Diana.
have clients in the US and now in different countries of the world.
Yeah.
No, they don't come to see me.
So
I just
how,
see a picture of them.
okay, a photo?
Yeah, I see a photo.
Yeah.
And I can work with them and speak with the owners on the phone and say, look, this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
This is what, is wrong with your pet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're so receptive, whereas some humans aren't
No.
receptive. Do you find
Yeah,
that too?
I do. Yeah.
They want to be healed, but they like the sympathy when they're sick.
Yeah, because
So
there's
they're
secondary
repelling
gain.
the energy quite
Hmm.
often. But animals, no, they love it.
They
And quite
do.
often I have clients who, they're sitting there and they're receiving the energy, and their pet will come and sit on their lap
Huh?
because they're sharing it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, winding up our beautiful chat today, what message would you like to share with people?
Look, I know this is quite a maybe a well-known message, but whatever challenges we're sent in this life,
Hmm.
we won't be sent anything that we can't cope with,
I agree.
because whatever we're sent makes us stronger.
Hmm.
Some reason for it.
Yeah.
People say, "What's the reason I've got this?" I said, "Well, have a think.
Mm.
Why have you got it? It's making you stronger
Yeah.
to move on with your life and
Mm.
to be strong throughout the rest of your life."
Yeah.
So it is a well-known saying, but I'm a great believer in that.
Yeah.
And I think we both should know that that is so true for both of us
Exactly.
because of the challenges we've been sent.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And like we both, our challenges started when we were young,
Yes.
and we've navigated them, sometimes probably more positively than others. I won't speak for you, but sometimes pain does get you down. But
Mm.
what it did for me was it made me try and find a way of relieving the pain.
Yes.
And I remember I couldn't walk. Like I forgot I couldn't walk.
Mm.
I had done something to my spine during delivery, and I literally couldn't put one leg in front of the other.
Mm.
And I was semi-paralyzed in my lower back. And so they did a CAT scan and they said, "Oh, you've got a bulge between L4 and 5." And I said, "Is there cancer in that bulge?" And he said, "No." He said, "But we'll refer you to the pain clinic and you can take drugs for the rest of your life." And I
Mm.
said, "No, I'll deal with this myself, thanks." So I sat and I went, "What do I need to do?" And I heard this message, "You need to do yoga." So I found myself a yoga teacher and I did yoga twice a week. And
Mm.
after a few weeks, I said, "Well, it's not getting any better." And this voice in my head goes, "Did we say do it twice a week? You have to do it every day."
Yes.
So I started doing yoga every single day, what I remembered from the lesson. And I just built on that, built on that. Do you know, in 10 weeks, I completely fixed that bulge and it went back into wherever. And I didn't have an issue ever again with that.
Mm. Mm. Yes.
And no pain meds. It just fixed.
Yes.
But I took the action, the
Yeah,
daily action.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And just one thing I'll leave you with is that there have been times throughout my life when I've been in intense pain.
Yeah.
Can I go home now? I want to go home now.
And they say no.
Not your time yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so get up and get
And
through
keep
it.
going. Yeah.
Not my
Yeah.
time.
I like that. What a beautiful way to finish.
Mm.
It's not my time yet.
No,
So you have more to do.
I
And so
do.
then you just said about doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where can people find you, Diana?
You can find me on my website,
Yeah.
which is beingnaturallyhealthy.com,
Beautiful.
where I've got all sorts of information about healing sessions and about my book that I wrote, a spiritual the story of my life.
Yeah.
And my past life.
Yeah.
Which was very interesting because I brought in a lot of things from my past life. A lot of very interesting things. You'll find all the information about how to get in touch with me there.
Awesome.
Or,
Thank you.
Or info at Diana at Being Naturally Healthy.
Awesome, Diana. Thank you so much. I have thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you, and thank you.
I have too. Thank you so much for inviting me. I've enjoyed it very much.
That's awesome.
We exchanged a lot of very interesting things today.
We did. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Chat with Julie Lewin. We hope that you're inspired by Diana's amazing journey of recovery and turning her adversity into her greatest strength, and having her go on and help thousands of people and animals around the world. If you've enjoyed the episode, like and follow our podcast wherever you listen, so it can get into the hands of those who need it most. Also, your insights shape the direction of our podcast. So please let us know if there are topics you want to hear about or people we should invite. Thank you for listening, and remember, the journey to self-discovery and growth is an ongoing process, and it continues beyond the airwaves. And until next time, may you find courage, peace, and magic on your own path.